Ghislaine Maxwell, who trafficked underage women for Jeffrey Epstein's underage sex purposes, has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for her crimes, which in my opinion is not enough for someone who led one of the largest sex trafficking rings in recent history. 20 years, that's not enough. But we'll talk about it in a second. She is old, so that in reality, it feels longer. It represents more of a burden whenever you're giving it to someone who's on the older side. But still, 20 years for all of what she helped to do is wild. But let's read about it from CNN. Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in federal prison Tuesday for carrying out a years-long scheme with her longtime confidant Jeffrey Epstein to groom and sexually abuse underage girls. Maxwell, 60, did not testify in her defense during the trial late last year, which ended with her conviction on 5 counts, including sex trafficking of a minor. But on Tuesday, she spoke in the court to the victim shortly before the sentence was handed down. Quote, "Jeffrey Epstein should have been here before all of you," Maxwell said at the podium, her legs shackled. "It's not about Epstein ultimately. It is for me to be sentenced." Well, then why'd you say he should be there? I agree. He should have been able to be punished for the things he did, but you need to be punished for the things that you did. Maxwell, Epstein's former girlfriend, acknowledged that she had been convicted in the sex trafficking scheme, but stopped short of taking responsibility. "I am sorry for the pain that you've experienced," Maxwell said. "I hope my conviction brings you closure." So that is the most backwards, disgusting way to phrase that. It's just like "I'm sorry if I made you feel this way." When someone apologizes, they hurt your feelings and they're like, "I'm sorry you feel that way." Oh, I'm sorry you feel that way. That's exactly what this is. "I'm sorry for the pain that you've experienced. I hope my conviction brings you closure." No, you need to admit that you caused all of this pain. We're not hoping the conviction is going to bring us closure just because we got someone. Is because we know what you did and we want you to be held accountable for it. So you need to clearly take responsibility. Prosecutors had asked the judge to sentence Maxwell to 30 to 55 years in prison, while the probation department recommended 20 years. Maxwell's attorneys requested a more lenient sentence of between 4.25 and 5.25 years in prison. So prosecutors asked for 30 to 55. She got 20. Judge Allison Nathan calculated that the sentencing guidelines called for about 15.5 to 19.5 years in prison, yet she delivered a sentence slightly above that range, noting the victim's disturbing testimony and Maxwell's direct and repeated participation in a horrific scheme. Quote, "Miss Maxwell is not punished in place of Epstein," she said. "Miss Maxwell is punished for the role that she played." Absolutely. So like I said, for what she helped to do, I don't think 20 years is justice. Again, one of the largest sex trafficking rings, largest sex trafficking operations of minors, and she participated in that. She helped get all of those girls, brought them to Jeffrey Epstein for him to abuse them. So 20 years isn't enough, but she is 60. So as I previously mentioned, 20 years is a lot longer within that context. I really don't have much else to say on this, but I'm glad she will be away for a while, and hopefully this will bring her to the end of her days. If she is able to get probation, if she's able to get out earlier than that, then possibly not. But being 80 when she gets out is it ends the rest of her able-bodied life of going out and being a free person. But still, just the message of it, I think, should have been a lot more than 20 years for the terrible things that she did.